Well, friends, it's time for another Junkling, and this starting piece is a old scrub brush that I took the brush parts off of because I love the idea of this clear open area and filling it with something. So I was playing around looking at different materials that I had, and first I've got this amazing old, probably a spray paint top, I'm not sure, top to some kind of spray can that fits perfectly. So I thought that was great. I was thinking about what I wanted to fill the clear space with, and like the idea of it being some kind of organic material rather than it just be robot parts. So I printed out this brain, which I think is just so cool. Put a little spring on it. Eventually I'm going to put wires to it and figure out how I'll make that work. But I love the idea of putting that inside and filling the inside with some resin maybe to make it look like it's floating inside of this piece. I just think that looks really cool. So that was my starting point. I really like how that looks. I'll have to play around with the overall look and feel of that. I had a couple of parts. This is leftover toy from, I think, a Dollar Tree kit. I'd already pre-drilled some holes. Thought that looked cool and could be a neat power pack kind of thing. I can play around with which way that I'll put this in. Which end is up, I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll figure that out. But for now, we'll put that in as is. And then I had these really cool legs that I just love. I'm gonna have to find the right location for them and lock in the feet so they don't move too much. But I just love the look of that. I think that's fantastic. So some kind of standing looking piece like that. And now we've got a pretty good looking outline of what my Junkling is going to be. So I was thinking about having this brain inside of it could veer more towards it being a little, I don't know, creepy looking. And we want Junklings to be friendly and cute. So I was playing around with ideas for eyes, and of course, shiny beads always help. But I like the idea of having them nice and big. So if they're big located on here and put close together, that's pretty cute. So we'll start gluing things on and see how this works. Right, let's get an idea of where we want to put the eyes and what kind of mouth do we want to put on it. So I like those eyes. Still not sure of the color scheme that we're gonna work with, since this cap, so the old scrub brush, is a little rubberized. I don't think it's gonna paint very well, so might have to keep some gray in the color scheme. We'll figure that out though. So it's nice and centered. So I like the eyes. And I know that my legs are going to fit on the side like that. I don't want to glue them on because I already know that I'm going to use them. So I love how that looks. You need some kind of mouth though. So I had a couple of these greeblies laying around. I started kind of playing with what that's going to look like. That's cute. I like that more. So now I'm just deciding between a big mouth or a little mouth. I think that might be cuter. Well, only one way to try. Let's put some hot glue on here and obsess over it for a couple of days. We'll make all this fit better later, but my brain's falling out too. It's pretty cute. So now I don't think it looks as creepy because it has a brain in it. And it's got these cute little arms around it. I think that's pretty good. So I think that's gonna be my starting point. The next thing I have to worry about is this is a little domed and it's kind of squishy. So I have a couple of different pieces here that I can cover with it. I think I like that a lot. I've got a greebly here that could hide that text without having to try to sand it off. I want it to sit forward, but it's kind of cute. Looks like a little hat. Maybe that goes over it. I don't know. Okay, I'll figure all that out later. That's my starting point. So now I know where I'm going to attach my legs. I think I need to drill some holes and start assembly. We're going to go from there. Okay, I've got through holes punched at the right height. I liked the idea of having the legs be a little bit shorter rather than making it look taller. I thought it looked a little top heavy with how high the other part is. So we've mounted them there. They're a little off center. Now let's make some leg joints. The height is perfect. They bend out a little bit, so its knee motion would. It still looks okay. I think it's alright if the knees bend out a little bit. It's kind of cute. The balance is good. Let's put the cap back on to make sure. Okay, mocked up what the head is going to look like. Mouth's attached. Made some adjustments to the back, and legs are now attached. So what's next is, I like where these eyes are, but they need more depth. So I made some cute little covers that they'll fit inside of. So we're gonna mount those now. These are gonna need to pop off the eyes because I don't want to have to mask them for paint because that's just a huge pain. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to attach and support because there's a big gap on the side there. So that's what I'm working on now. Now, after I've made the eye sockets and hid the lines of where the bag attaches, it's time to play around with the brain. Fix this later. I want to figure out, here's my center line, how I want wires to show out of it and what that'll look like. So, time to put some wires into this. I cut a little recess into our brain here so it has a connector that can receive some pins to it. I think that looks really cool. Fits in pretty well here, so all I have to do is attach it and then wind this around the spring because I want the feed to come through the spring that's going to be mounted at the base of our device here. So I'm going to trim these wires so that they'll fit and then glue everything in place. I really like the look of that. I think it's pretty cool. See how well it shows up. We are now ready for paint. All of our details are laid out. We just have paint and then wiring, and we are good to go. We've got our primer coat ready to go. Now it's time for detail paint. Time for detail paint. So we are going to take the head off because we don't need that for right now. I've decided my colors are going to be a metallic purple, bright pink, metallic turquoisey, and then silver that I'm going to stipple on to make it look like some metallic features. We'll get cranking on that now. I'm going to paint it following this leg angle. Everything in front of that will be the silver metallic color, and then hammered metal looking, and then everything behind it will be a paint. Probably the bright purple, I think. But we'll see. Let's get some hammered metal effect going on. I painted up this purple color blocking, as you can see. I even made a little top hat for it, which is really cute. So we'll take this apart. I love how that's looking. I was gonna play around with some metallic paint, but I really like the contrast of the hammered metal finish with a flat paint color. So we're gonna stick with that. I'm gonna finish painting up its feet and some other parts, and then we'll start applying pink highlights.